I want to know the reason why I chose this life experience as a spirit, whatever you call it. Because, as you can see, I don't really vibrate with this planet's, this world's energy. I doubt anybody does. Nobody vibrates with this energy, first of all. And this planet is a place where the unnormal, not normal, is taken granted and seen as the normal and acted upon and expected to such a ridiculous extent that it's completely taken granted, as if it's already like the background of what's happening. Nobody looks at it. The basic logic that most people live by, which is completely unnormal, unnatural, which is completely counterintuitive. The definition of intuitive intuition is your true heart, your true soul's expression, your self-expression, your authenticity, and the basic logic that this world functions by is completely against that. And this, however, is seen as the normal here in this world and is literally the background of this world. That nobody looks at it. Everybody just lives by it. And they look at their problems with that logic as their setting, as their base logic, base way of thinking. They think based on that. So that is something that is completely unnormal, yet completely taken 1000% for granted to such an extent, the way I described it. And this is this world, and I've chosen which doesn't vibrate with me at all, and not with anybody living on this planet, because we come from a place that is the complete opposite of this. Why did I choose to come here? I don't know about other people, but I just want to know my very personal reason for being here. Because, I'm someone that always follows passion, excitement, joy, the light things, the warm things, the colorful things. Like sunny days, summer, clear sky, nature, animals. I'm that type of person. And do things spontaneously. Passion. Live for passion. And not just for living, not just for surviving. I'm that kind of person. And so I'm really confused or intrigued to know why I would choose this life experience here. Especially my particular life also that started its first 2 decades with the complete opposite type of energy that I intrinsically hold. That's impossible for me to let go, because that is not just something that I hold, but what I am, which I just described to you. Like a rainbow type of person that I intrinsically am. And yet I chose this world and this life that are just the opposite of what I hold. And what this world makes me, it makes me feel a lot of fear because of this dissonance between what I described as me and what I described this world to be, which everybody shares experiences. I don't need to describe it, you know what I mean. And a lot of fear because in this world's eyes, the energy, the values that I carry are considered to be not realistic, not practical, not too idealistic, prone to failure, or things like that. You will fail because you shouldn't look at passion, excitement, joy when you're living here, where you're living. You should look at the most important things. Prioritize survival, prioritize financial security, prioritize everything that is not excitement, joy, love. And that gives me a lot of fear because I bought into it. At least my body, the instrument that I live in, soaked completely from the beginning of my life here. The first 2 decades, soaked in this information, in this environment where nobody else, except for myself, holds what I hold. I keep what I hold intrinsically alone. At least that's my experience. And so the instrument just soaked in that kind of energy that's in a profound dissonance, conflict. I wouldn't say conflict. Maybe it's conflict, call it whatever you want. In contradiction with what I am. So there's a part of me that believes what the world says, the basic logic of this world, and then a deeper part of me that knows that what I know is what I am and what I live for. And I've always lived for these things that I live for. But again, this more, I don't know how to call it, more instinct part of me, more, by instinctual, I mean like the reactive part. I mean the part of you that gets conditioned, the part of you that listens, is prone to fear, prone to the external world, whatever, the environment that's shapeable, that's changeable, And what did I want to say? Oh yeah, there's the part of me, my true self, myself. I still live for the things I want to live for. And this conditioned part of me keeps telling me things that the world would tell me. And I feel a lot of fear. I live in fear. I expect though. I've been disappointed. Okay, apart from what I said. Another part is like I said, I'm on this. I'm completely physically alone. I've never had a connection a friend or family member or anybody, a teacher, any encounter I've ever met in my life that resonated with what I've been holding, still holding. You know what I mean. So, I'm alone and I got complete with what I hold and what I see are in complete conflict, contradiction with the family, with everybody I've known, in my memories, in the past, in the now, in the future. I'm describing the life I've had, not in the present tense. Sorry. I'm just saying, like, when I was 16, for example, or when I just started to get depressed, long before this point in my life, when I got into spirituality, when spirituality was really far from me, I was a science head, and I was who I am today, holding on to who I am, the part of me that lives for passion only, that lives for love, passion for truth. When I was 18, for example, I looked back at my life. Oh my God, I couldn't get along with my family because they are basically the embodiment of this world's values, I couldn't get along with them. Not at all. They wouldn't understand me. They wanted me to change. They wanted me to be more practical, more realistic. They wanted to discuss practical, quote unquote, adult topics. They don't want to hear you're too idealistic. So I just, intuitively, I didn't want to share myself with them. I felt blocked. Like, there's a wall between us. It was just intuitive knowing, I lived with them for like almost since I was 8. This family, my mother's family, lived with them since I was 8. So for 1 decade, I knew what they are. Is that the right way to say that sentence? I'm trying to you get it. You get what I mean. So, they didn't understand me, never. And I never had a friend, like I said, that resonated with me. I was just completely alone on this. And the present life that I had, where I tried so hard to find somebody, and I always failed. All the doors closed on me when I came to this interpersonal connections, and I always failed. Nobody connected with me. I could connect with nobody. No one. And also, the physical world I lived in, like in the university, I just got into university, and classmates, teachers, and the internet, and finally I was allowed to use the internet after high school, In high school, you're not allowed to use the internet, a lot. Not in school, not in class. You're not allowed because you should focus on study, At least it's my society is kind of like that. It was normal. I don't know if it's still normal now. I don't know. I have no idea. But back then, it was like that. 10 years ago. And, okay. On the internet, nobody talks about what I believed. What I still believe. Nobody talks about what I am. Everybody talks about the opposite of what I am. You know what I mean? Based on the base logic the world functions by. So, I was so lonely. I alone too. Lonely and alone. And I got depressed. I didn't know the true reason why I was depressed, but my depression was triggered by this quote unquote breakup with this person that I was connecting with in high school on a romantic love sense, not in a profound sense that I've been talking about here, but in a more romantic sense. But we were never in an official relationship or whatever. It was just a very superficial thing, you could call it. It was all in my mind. But still, it lasted for a year, and the time when it broke up, oh my god, it was the end of the world for me. I felt like the end of the world. I just got deep into depression. I lost my mind. And I was so sad. Plus, I was in this terrible relationship with my family, and I couldn't make any friends in university, and I couldn't understand the world, and I couldn't connect with the world, which I didn't see that part. But now I can see that so clearly. So obviously I had to be depressed. Just look at what I was living. I had to be depressed, and I was for a few years. For the first 2 years in the university, I really got just really depressed. Then the third year, I had to move out, change country. Change country, and I got better there somehow. Maybe because I was finally really alone. Where I just was out of that environment, that constant, tight environment that surrounded me tightly with no breakout, Everybody was representing the opposite of what I am. And maybe because I finally was out of that, where I could just be alone, be with my own vibration, my own true vibration for a while. Maybe I just got better. I was still, for all these years, I was trying to find someone, trying to find some connection. The thing that I've always wanted. The only thing I've always wanted. And, I only met people, I met people, I can tell you, but none of them till today, I never found anybody that I really connected with, that really vibrated that same energy, profoundly connected with me. And, I just had some friendships, you could say, like, that's not on a profound level, just, I would say, more shallow relationships. Just people that you would hang out with, talk to, meet, do things with. Not even good friends. I'd say it was more of sexual relationships. More about, I don't know, it's not more about sex, it's just kind of partially based on sexuality, something like that. I was saying they were not satisfying. I mean, the friendships, the connections. Because that's not what I wanted. And time went on. I just completely left my family and my social environment. I left school. I just got out of it. And then I was on my own. Finally, completely on my own. no more, no more like these forced, or I don't know how to use the right word here. I just got myself out of that whole bundle of stuff that I lived in since birth. Basically just broke up with my family, broke up with school and everybody I knew. I didn't choose to know, like you didn't choose your family, you didn't choose your schoolmates, right? They're just assigned to you, something like that. And I left all of that. I just started to live a life that I could just choose completely myself, choose who to see, who to talk to be with. And then I changed country again. Now I even just chose a completely new country. And a completely new things I wanted to learn. New environment. But still, I was lonely because nothing else changed. Completely lonely, completely disconnected from the world, from anybody at all. New country, no new people, had new friendships. Sexual, no sexual. And suddenly, I was still depressed. You can say better because I was more free and I was doing more things that I preferred. Still depressed and lonely. But I wouldn't call I was depressed because I was really productive. I was doing a lot of things every day. I going to classes, being a top student again, Back in the university when I was 18, I was not a top student. I've been a top student all my life. It's my only insistence. The only thing that I really can't let go of. I just have to be a top student if I go to any class. But the first 2 years of my university, I was just skipping classes. I was not even doing homework. I was not listening in class because I couldn't understand the teachers, because I skipped classes and I wasn't putting my heart into it because I didn't even feel motivated to be alive, let alone doing anything. I was not a top student, but thankfully I was in the middle. I was in the middle, around the middle. Obviously, some people were doing even worse than me because I was not doing anything. I was still in the middle of the class, and some people were doing even worse, even less than I did. But then finally, after I changed to a second country, I chose to learn to study what I preferred to study. I was doing very good, very well. Being a little bit more of myself again. But still, this core part of me still felt this lack of connection, of resonance with the world or anybody in the world. Because I still didn't make like that kind of friend. I had like more other friends that I made in class. It was very, very superficial type of religion. By superficial, I don't mean like the content of the friendships, but the nature, like the level of depth. That's what I mean by superficial. I don't mean like the content. You get it. We were just, classmates would talk and we would go out and eat together. That's it. We don't share values. We don't share anything in depth. And I made some other friends out of school. 2 other friends where I met other people. I tried to, before spirituality came into my life, I've always tried to date. Always met people to date. And I never managed to have anything. Never had a relationship in my life, which I feel proud of. I think that vibrates with who I am. Somehow, I don't know how to explain it, but I don't feel like I'm the kind of person that would have a lot of relationships in my life. So I think this part of my life really resonates with my core. You know, if I were to have a relationship, it will last until the end of my life. If I were to. If not, then I would not have any at all. I wouldn't have relationships that are just random and started randomly or started like really in. I don't know how to describe it, like most people have them. And then, you know, they have more than one, they have several until they find the right one. That's not for me. I either do it with the right one or don't do it. So I've never had a relationship, and I never managed to find somebody to date anybody that's really the right person. Never found anybody right. And then suddenly, you know, just so sudden, I got into spirituality, like through the internet, you know, just consuming a lot of social media, like videos and contents that people put online. And I just came across the videos that just opened me up little by little, like with stairs. I got one stair at a time, deeper, higher up into spirituality, until where I am now. And as soon as the door opened to me and I got into it, like, so hungrily, I just devoted all of my time because I was so excited. I was so curious. I had so many questions I wanted to know, and I was so blown away. Like, I never expected anything that I wanted to know to be answered in this lifetime. And I lived with a sciencey head. I was going to be a psychologist. I was trying to study psychology. And before that happened, spirituality happened to me, you know. Before that point in my life, I thought science was the way to, because I still lived for love and truth. And I thought science was the way to truth. So I wanted to become a psychologist. I wanted to study psychology. I thought that was the way for me, because it was really perfectly, you know, in the field of science, really, the truth that I wanted to get. Psychology was perfect for me. I was signing up for this university. I was doing the preparation year. I was finishing it. The preparation year I was studying. I was starting my study the year following it. And just before it all started, my study started, spirituality happened to me and literally just answered all of my questions that I didn't dare to expect to be answered. Like, you know, looking at the world through a scientific mind, I didn't dare to expect humanity to ever have the answers to the questions that I had. But then, spirituality answered them for me. Like, oh my God, the things that I didn't even expect, that didn't dare to expect answered throughout, like, until like humanity dies. I didn't expect. Damn, I don't know how to say this. Like, let's say humanity is let's say humanity would live for 1 trillion years, and the questions that I had, I didn't even dare to ask, but they were so big. I didn't expect them to ever be answered by humanity, ever, as long as it lives, because they were so big questions about truth and everything. For example, why are we here? What is this world? And why why this and that? And what? And, I was going to become a psychologist. I was expecting much smaller questions to be answered. I was looking for answers to much smaller questions, but these bigger questions I didn't even dare to, never dared, beyond my wildest dreams. And then spirituality jumped into my life and answered them, and more. More than I could expect. Opened my eyes, opened my mind, and, well, above all, opened my heart. That's how my life changed, and suddenly I had to change country again. I had to come back to my country because I just couldn't go on that path anymore. I dropped it because I no longer needed it. That was on level 3. All of a sudden I jumped to level 6. I didn't need the path on level 3 anymore. So I dropped that path. I left all, I didn't know anybody there, to be fair. I had 2 friendships, and one ended before I decided to move back to my country. And the other one ended as I moved back to my country, months after I moved back. I would say 1 month, 2 months after. Because something happened to them as well, which is also mind blowing, if you ask me. And I don't have the time to tell it, but something completely mind blowing happened to that person that probably is one of the main reasons why our friendship ended. It was just something that's impossible to happen for me, Something impossible. As impossible as seeing the sun rising from the west west part of the planet. Because the sun always rises from the east, right? And sets in the west. That's just how impossible it was. And it happened to that person, and, well, it happened I don't have to talk about it because it's going to take a lot of time. And that's not the point of this video. And here I am, I moved here about a year ago, like last year, October 8th, moved my plane. The plane I took landed here, and here I am. Well, not exactly here, but in this country, and I then flew here, and that's it. That's where I am. Changed apartments once. Here I am. And over the year, I think I still grew. Where I am here is basically where I am. Like, I dropped the path that I had before. So now I'm not on any path. And I don't know anybody. Because I've also kind of dropped this idea of needing to find somebody looking for. Because I now know more than anything that if it's the right time for somebody to show up in my life, I don't even need to look for them. I could live in the mountains and they would be able to find me if it's the right time. If it's not the right time, I can just look. I can just download all the dating apps or all the social apps. Because now I'm not looking for romantic stuff anymore. Like, I no longer believe that anything romantic is necessary for me or for anybody. No. But, to know somebody, you still need these apps, Apps that are also available for people that are just looking for friendships. That's similar to the dating apps. I can just download all of those apps and just use each one of them every day for hours and hours, just swiping, talking to loads of people, which I did, when I was 18. That's a big part of my life. all the way from when I was 18 to when I was 23. Yeah, it was a big part of my life. And never once, I never found anybody. It's like 4 years, every single day is trying. Never found anybody. No, I've dropped it completely. So now I'm not talking to anybody, basically. Not even talking to anybody. Just by myself, surfing the internet every day. Not on any life path. Just completely like living in my little world. I feel like I'm getting too used to it. Like in the beginning, in the very beginning, you are so excited where you have nothing to do. You do whatever you want. You're very excited, very, very free, like people would want that. And after a few months, you started to get really anxious. You started to feel really, really, you wanted more because it feels so anxious to be on no path and have no direction, have nobody. I was fighting against. I wanted it to change. I wanted something to happen. I was just, I was not okay with this. And then for a couple months. And then a few months passed. Now I'm just more really used to it. I'm okay for it to last. What I know is it won't last forever. Because of course, obviously, sooner or later I will need something to do. Or something must happen to break this. Or something must happen to sustain this, right? But I know it's very obvious that, well, I don't know. For now, at this point, I don't know anything anymore. I'm not sure about anything anymore. One thing I'm sure is just I have to be in the flow. That's the only thing that I'm sure about, is to be more spontaneous, to be more following your feelings, following the flow, the feelings rather than the mind, the thoughts. The thoughts tell you to do. The thoughts always tell you to be on survival mode, always tell you to watch out and prepare for the worst, prepare for the bad things. You don't want to listen to that. That's cutting the flow. And I've learned hard lessons. You create only more fear from fear. You don't want to create from fear. That's what I keep telling myself when I feel this urge to do something out of the fear of and anxiety of having nothing to do, being nothing. Being in the middle of nothing, really. I feel I'm living on an island completely out of this world. This world is happening beside me. I'm not in this world. I'm kind of above and out of this world. I'm not even caring about what's happening. Literally, I feel like I'm living on an island floating above the world, and I'm not looking at what's happening. Right? Even if I look at what's happening, it's kind of out of me, out of where I am. Where I am is extremely peaceful. Sometimes I even wonder, have I died already? Because, like nothing's happening. I'm having no relationships. And when I talk about it, I get a little anxious. Every time I talk about it, I get a little anxious. Fearful. Because I don't know, what if it lasts forever? What if it's always like this? But I know it won't. Even the true, or I don't know, like, my conditioning is so thick. It's always on survival mode. You can't turn it off. It's always on. You can only try to tune out of it. That's what I do. I try to ignore it. I try to tune in to the part of me that knows, that connects, that's connected. That's what I do. But then this world, I surf the internet and I have some old connections, some people that I can talk to maybe once a month, once 2 months. They would say things that would trigger the survival mode in me, the fear in me. I would just get really annoyed. They wouldn't understand. Some of them aren't, like one of them, some of them aren't spiritual. They wouldn't understand my lifestyle, obviously. They would be really confused, and I don't bother really explaining to them. Because I know what they can say will just make me feel, confirm my fear, My anxiety. I mean, not like anxiety disorder, just when you're not when you're in my situation, everybody would be like me. When you don't know what life is gonna bring to you, when you don't know what you have will last forever, and you have just complete uncertainty about life, you have to be really, really like me, really, really out of this world to go on this path, to continue it, to ignore the survival mode, it's really something special that I'm doing. I just realized not everybody can do it. Most people can't even start it. Most people. Let's not talk about it. Well, most people do, because it's. I have that part in me. It's not that I'm just so different. I have that part, that most people part in me. That part that keeps telling what I should do. I shouldn't be like this. I shouldn't have too much fun. I shouldn't play the video games all day. Oh man, if they're saying this, you have to have an income. You have to work a job. You have to prepare for the worst. You have to build a fortress that can support you. And now you don't have any of that, and you should be worried, and I am worried, a part of me. But I'm not gonna follow that. I'm not. It's not the first time I've done something like this, thankfully. You can say I have something as a reference point, as a weak reference point, but still a reference point. An actual experience I have that tells me that things figure themselves out. And I need to be out of this. I need to keep that worrying mind out of this. That's the only thing. I don't need to do anything but to keep that mind out of this business. That's not mine. My life has its own path that I've chosen before I came here. And it will unfold. And it should be let unfold. On its own. I'm shaking all over. I have fear. I am scared. Damn, I am scared. What if the worst happen, What if, this thing just, this sentences, the sentences that start with what if, the things out of fear that just go past my mind every day. When I even slightly tune out of the vibration of knowing, these thoughts just start there in the background, when I look at them or not look at them, they are there, even now. Well, what can I do? When a fear rises, I just feel the fear. I try to feel the fear. Try to not be, carried away by the thoughts. That's the most I can do. And I try not to think more thoughts about the world, because I've heard it's really important to hope for the best. Because that's what we are here to do, is to hope for the best. It's not to prepare for the worst, but to prepare for the best. To live for the best, not to prepare for the worst. That's the way my family lives. That's the way people live here. That's why I am needed here. Because people need to see that following your heart is not just possible, but is necessary. It's the only thing we're here to do. They need to see more of that. To know that it's possible, not just possible, but necessary for them to do. So it's not just a personal thing that I should keep my own fear out of whatever that's going on in my life, but that I hold on to. It's not just a personal thing, but it's something that's much bigger than just me. At least that's how I comfort myself. But I know it's true. I know it intellectually. It's true that this world needs me to not create from fear the way they do, the way they are doing, the way they're living. They resent their lives. They want more of me. And I need to live me so that I can give it to them too. So that they can see me and start to live themselves too. Start to live them too. Not just their current lives. I need to open a window. It's getting stuffy here. And by the way, that's not just how I invented. That's not what I invented. That's everything I've learned from spirituality. Everything I've learned. Everything the spirituality is about. All can be summed up by this one sentence. Follow your heart, and this is the only thing that anybody is here to do. Nothing else. You don't need to worry about your survival. You don't need to worry about your life. You don't need to worry about your everything. So the stuff you think you need to worry about, none of them. You don't need to worry at all. And you might start to say, but, what if this and that? I have this. Well, I don't know what to say, because I don't know what to say to these things. Different people have their own timing. But, spirituality is all about that. Following your heart. Your truest heart that you know. It's not something difficult. I mean, like, having access to it isn't difficult. In fact, nothing is difficult. Nothing is difficult. Fear is difficult, yes. If I don't like to say it anymore, to be fair, I don't think anything is difficult. You might ask me, what about your conditioning, the conditioning part of you that is telling you fearful thoughts and worries and saying those things that the world would be telling you. That part of me that I can't get rid of it, so I don't get rid of it. I just let it be. That's what I can't do, right? And as far as I know, I don't need to get rid of any part of me. That's another thing I've learned about from spirituality. Spirituality can be summed up by this another sentence, which is accept all of you. All of you, even a part of you that doesn't accept yourself. Accept all of you unconditionally with compassion. That's another thing spirituality is summed up to be. It's nothing like it's nothing about spirits, about witchcraft, about tarot card reading, about seeing spirits open your third eye. These are not. I mean, these are part of spirituality, but you know, the what I'm talking about is what spirituality is truly about. The other things that you think spirituality is about is just a very tiny, tiny little part. Even, you know, I wouldn't say. I don't know. Spirituality is everything. Is everything is. And these witchcraft stuff, just the tiny, tiny, tiniest, smallest little bits part, tiniest a little like a cell in your body. That's how big they are. But people just have this prejudice, or what was the word? Prejudice, stereotype of the word spirituality, spiritual people. Like what they do is just these shit like that about readings, energy readings, or you know, they're just a very tiny, tiny, tiniest a cell of what spirituality is. You know, I'm somebody that's more of a large concept person. I go to the deepest part of anything that I pursue. I go to the deepest part of it. And so spirituality isn't what you think it is. It can be summed up by just these sentences I told you. And anything you think, if you're not into spirituality, I don't know anybody not into spirituality would be if you watched the video until this point. They would click off already after the first minutes of listening to me if they are spiritual at all. I don't need to explain anything. So I started by the question, why, the reason why I chose this life and this world. It's just so intriguing, isn't it? Just look at me and this world. It's such a mismatch, and why I chose it here. And not just this world, but the family, the whole, like, my life I've chosen. Why? It's like a double debuff, right? I mean, like, a double, I don't know what other words better than debuff to describe my situation. As if this world itself is not enough, I had to choose a family that's like that. And not just a family that's neutral, but a completely, literally, a negative family. A family that doesn't approve me as me. You know? I chose something that's really, really spicy. And the basic logic of me is following purity of joy and excitement and passion and love and truth. So if I would do anything at all, it would definitely be out of these reasons. So far, I don't know how to bridge my life with these words. I don't know, like, how could I choose this family because of joy, love, light? How could I choose? Why would I choose darkness if I live for love, joy, and light? Why would I choose thick, dense darkness that disapproves joy, light and love, passion, feather, purity. That's what I am. What I live for. What I come from. What I would go to. The only thing that I would ever hold on to. If I was a white swan, why did I choose to jump into this fake pool of petrol in a dark cave? Well, actually, my life isn't that dark. I don't want it to sound like so extreme. I mean, there are more extreme lives in this world, and I've had like no abuse in my life. For example, I've had no like nobody raped me, nobody abused me intentionally. Well, unintentionally, yes, but never intentionally. Nobody wanted to hurt me when I was a kid or throughout my life. I've not even been bullied. I was just close to being bullied. And I was out of it, thankfully. I only got into a fight once in my life. Physical fight. That was when I was a kid and with another kid. Who was a little younger than me, and it was a boy. And because his nails were really sharp, so I couldn't fight him because of his nails. They were so sharp. I remember, I don't want to talk about it because it's painful. Because it's the only fight that I've ever gotten into, you know. And just that, and then got beaten as a kid by my caregivers as a punishment, which is a common thing, and I think in every country, right? Just not nowadays, but 20 years ago. It's pretty common, I think. Even 50 years ago, definitely in every country. Very common. 20 years ago, very common in my country. Now, still not so common. I think people are waking up as parents. They start to beat their children less than before. Less and less. Just look at 100 years ago, people beat their children. 200 years ago, children were used as workers, right? They worked. Children used to work. But now, no more. Children are being better and better cared for. But just talking about me, I mean, my life was just... So I've chosen not just a life where people didn't approve of me, but they also didn't give me any unconditional love. Obviously, if they didn't approve me, they wouldn't be able to give me unconditional love. So I never experienced unconditional love from family or any caregivers, anything. I never experienced anything unconditional. Well, they would care about me, you know, like physically, for example. Care if I ate well, if I was warmly dressed, if I had pocket money to buy snacks, if I would get educated well, you know, like, just like normal parents, right? But just without unconditional love and acceptance and support, warmth, I never experienced those. Grew up in this lack of unconditional love, which is the only thing that I've ever wanted, that I ever wanted. I've always searched for this thing. That's my life. It's not that dark, but I'm just like, in comparison with what I represent, it is literally black and white. Black and white. Like a swan swimming in a pool of petrol. Maybe not as thick and dense and dark as petrol, but something like that, like a muddy pool. A pool of mud. A muddy pool. Okay, let's not just say petrol anymore. A muddy pool. Why would one choose to swim in a muddy pool if all it wants is more of itself? Oh. I think I just spoke the truth. I think I just spoke the answer. Because I want more of what I am. More of what everybody is. More of light, joy, excitement, and passion. So of course I would choose to a place that doesn't have enough of it. So that I can create or make it more. Turn it around. If I'm light, I want more light. Of course I want to go to some place dark so that I can light it up. If I'm light, I choose to go somewhere that's already light. I don't have more of me, I just have what's there. But if I go to somewhere dark and I light it up, because there are candles waiting to be lit here. They are desperate to be lit up. So I come here as light and I light them up. And then I have more of me. But I just don't think it makes sense. Because I don't vibrate with this energy of like, I don't care about this world. The thing is, I'm not like a light worker that genuinely cares about this world. The light workers, their thing. Some people are light workers, they come here to bring more light to this world. I don't vibrate with this title. If you tell me I'm a light worker, I don't vibrate with this. I don't feel selfless. I feel very self-absorbed, very self-centered. I don't give a damn about, I care about this world, but a little. Like, I wouldn't do anything to change this world because I think it's so messed up. It's so fucked up. And people are still choosing to incarnating into this world and I think the reason is the core is I don't understand why things have to be the way they are here. I still haven't got it, like why it has to be like this. Why it has to be this heart and dance. Why can't it be anything less? Why can't it be better? Why can't it be just light? Why do there have to be this? Why I haven't figured it out yet. None of the, I've got many different answers from many different people, different schools of thoughts on this. They've not been able to satisfy me because they've not gone deep enough. For example, they would say, you need more contrast. For you to appreciate light more, you need to live through darkness first. But that's duality thinking, and the ultimate reality isn't a world of duality. The ultimate reality is a reality of a oneness. It doesn't need this philosophy based on duality, because the ultimate reality is beyond this. That explanation is just duality thinking. And so it doesn't really it doesn't satisfy me. It can satisfy some people, but not me. And I'm not saying I'm better than other people. I don't know why. I just really worry that you think the way I speak makes you think that I'm. It gives you this. Like, is because I believe I'm better than other people. I'm. Maybe I believe so. Yeah. To be fair. Because I want. I think that those people that think that live a realistic life, that do a job that they don't like. They are really sad, I understand, but I'm not thinking that I'm better than them anymore, but I used to. I'm conditioned to think that way. But now I intellectually know, Nobody's better than anybody. But I'm conditioned to believe. It's just like I'm conditioned to believe what the world tells you, you know. I'm conditioned to live in fear, you know. Intellectually, I know that I shouldn't. It's not like I think I'm better than other people. I just think they're wrong when they tell you I'll be more practical, be more realistic. They're wrong. They're wrong. They're undoubtedly ridiculously wrong. And it's very sad. It's not that they have a choice. They don't even choose to say that. They are forced. They have to say it. They're conditioned to say it. Same way I'm conditioned to fear. They are too. And it's just that they seem to be more and more wholly into that, and I have a part of me that's completely detached from this conditioning, which is a bless. I carry this blessing with me and bring it to people that don't have it. But the thing is, I don't vibrate with this energy of being a light worker because I don't really truly care about this world. Like when I look at this world, when I look at everything they're interested in, I look at this world and what it is. It is somebody that only cares about profit, sex, appearance. And I don't give a damn about it. It's a very sad world where people live in it, controlled by these thoughts, controlled by this base logic. They are miserable. But they approve of this logic here. They approve that appearance is important. They approve that money is the key. And, well, they don't have a choice. They don't have a choice. They are brought up in this environment, just like me. A part of me believes in all those things too. Alright. And I feel like too powerless. I feel like, and not just too powerless, but I feel like, why does it have to be like this, right? I has to, like, that's the key here. I don't understand why it has to be like this. I still haven't got a satisfying answer for it. So before I get a satisfying answer why this world has to be like this, I wouldn't be able to care about this world because it's meaningless to me that this world is like this. I'm so miserable, you know? People suffer. I look at it, I think they choose to come here just like me. They choose to incarnate here. They choose to be in those families. They choose their lives. They choose to suffer. And this world is like this because so many people are choosing for it to be. And I don't know why. Well, there must be a reason why. There must be not just a reason, but a meaningful and satisfying reason why it has to be like this. Or it better be this. Not just not have to, but better be. You know, it's the best way to do it. It's a very good way to do it. Or, you know, something like that. I just don't know what it is. I don't know why. And that's what stops me from truly caring about this world. Because I just feel it's just meaningless, you know? Meaningless to be this way. And when it comes to individuals, I so care about them when I look at, well, I have very selective compassion. No, only when I'm calm, not when I'm triggered. And I'm also so easily triggered. I want from the bottom of my heart, I want every single living being to live for love, truth, passion, the things that I live for, the things that I hold on to. I want them to wake up and start hold on to and live only for these things too. From the very bottom of my heart, I just don't know how to do it. I don't know why they don't. I don't know why they have to not. I don't know why this world has to be the opposite of that. Not encourage, to live by the opposite of that. I don't know why yet. I know I will know, maybe. Well, with no doubt, maybe if I don't know it now, absolutely I will know it after I transition. I don't like to use the word die anymore because it's not accurate. When I leave this world, I will know it. I will know everything. But I think maybe I will know it here too. I think very soon I will know it here, because if this world wants me to start function, to start saving it, I will need, that's like a key to open me up my overwhelming energy to change this world to the direction that it desperately wants to go to. Every single human being living, breathing, they want to live for passion, love, excitement. They want them so desperately that they have to completely ignore that and completely forget about these things because of how miserable and seemingly forced their lives are. But they want what I want to want them to live. They want. I know it. And I just easily forget about it because people talk about the opposite of it, They don't talk about dreams. They talk about being realistic. Stop talking about dreams. Stop following your passion. Follow what's most profitable. Build a fortress first before thinking about your passion. Actually, forget about your passion. Find a job that can support you and you can have a retirement pension before you get everything. Never think about the passions, because the passions don't get you anywhere. That's what they talk about. That's what the world talks about. That's what my family talks about. So I can so easily forget that what I want, what I represent, is what they want too. And they want me to live me. They want me to live by my values. They want that so desperately. Even if they talk completely against it. So I can so easily be carried away by the appearance of this world and forget its core desire, which is just the same in everyone, in me especially. I have to remind myself, I so easily forget about it when I look at how people talk. Oh my God, they talk so convincingly that I am carried away so easily to think that they don't want any of what I want, what I live for. They don't want. I feel like I'm so easily alienated by their attitude towards what I represent. What I hold on, the only things that I hold on to, it's so easy to be carried away by their appearance, talking against the only things that I live for. I so easily make them my enemies, I so easily make the world my enemy. And that's not the biggest problem here. The biggest problem here is I don't know why it has to be like this. Okay, that's the biggest. I don't call it a problem. The biggest thing here for me is that. And the second biggest thing would be solved. The first biggest thing is solved. The second biggest thing is their appearance, what they appear to be doing, what they appear to be talking about so convincingly carries me away to make them my enemies, which I did for the first 2 decades. I mean, not actually first 2 decades. When I was a kid, obviously I wasn't thinking about all these things. Starting when I was 16, so it's been 1 decade, nearly 1 decade of my life. Oh, actually, it started when I was 18. Oh no, because when I was 16, I was still in school. I wasn't in the world yet. I was in the ivory tower. So I wasn't really making the world my enemy yet. Only after I got into university and the world suddenly became my enemy. Not my enemy, actually. It was a black hole. The world was a black hole. It's just sucking me in. Just all of my light. Everything that I lived for, I was like in a big black hole, seeing no light. My only light not wavering. My only light persistently being there. I wanted to be gone. I wanted to be put out so that I could have all the reasons to kill myself. But it was there, the light in me, the hope that I held so persistently shining, that I just couldn't kill myself. Couldn't have enough reason, enough despair to wipe me out. That's the only thing that kept me alive, and I am happy to have that. I am blessed. Blessed to have this. And it's now I'm not alone anymore. Now the whole world, not the world, but the universe, the whole existence is at my back. Now I've realized that this light that I have in me is a part of the ultimate existence. That's just too good. It is true. But I still, this part of me thinks it's too good to be true, but this part of me that's conditioned, that's has this old belief system that I've been having since I was a kid. I was conditioned to believe the opposite of what I hold on to. That part of me that thinks this is all bullshit, it's too good to be true. But, complicated stuff. But now I know, at least, I can never go back to who I was. I can never go back to not know what I know today. Which is very exciting, which is very inspiring, which is very shocking. It's very soul shaking. It's love. It's all there is. Every time I think about it, it just blows me away. As if I just knew it now, but I've known it for over a year. I know. I started to know it when last year in, let's say, June. But is it last year? Yeah. Last year, October, I arrived here. Last year, June, I started to know what I know today. So 4 months in, all the way till today, it's been just a year and 4 months. So 16 months. But every time I think about it, it's as if I just knew it now. It just blows my mind again. That's how powerful it is, this truth that a part of me, actually, I don't believe in it. I don't believe it. I mean, I know it's true, but I don't believe it. Or I don't know how to say it. That's not the right word. I don't connect. What's the word to say? I don't know, like, let's just say a 50% of me knows it's true. Knows it's true. And a 50% of me says, it's a bullshit. Come on. That's not true. The truth is, this is a physical world. And you need to survive. Wow. And that part of me is the latter part of me is the instinctual part of me. The former part of me is the intuitive part of me, the me that's functioning here, that's talking here. And that part of me is, the other part of me is the conditioned part of me. The shell of me, the more instrumental part of me. Like the instrument is the body, right? And the energy field that I carry, I think I absorb the energy of people that brought me up. Family, country, nation, environment, society, people that I've followed, people I've met. The things they talk about, it's energy, right? It's in my energy field too. It's not just in my energy, it's huge in my energy field, because I was brought up in all of these values that are essentially against mine. So, I look such a contradicted person. I'm so conflict. I don't call it conflict because I can see both sides so clearly. So I'm not in fight or in war. I'm just not even. I can see everything clearly as they are, and the reasons, and so I'm not like in a war. I live in this fear that this conditioned part of me keeps bringing up. It wouldn't stop. It's there. And that's the part that I ask help for. That's the part that I try to keep out of my life, that I live, that I lead. And I succeed on this because that's not the part that's functioning, that's making the decisions. Well, it tries to impact me on making decisions, but it doesn't make decisions for me as long as I don't allow it to. And that's my job, to not allow it to make decisions, to not allow it. But I think I should let it be in more flow. Not keep the fear out of me, but feeling and living it, like letting it freely. I'm so in fear, but I don't want to use these limiting words like keeping things out or it's my job or things like that. They sound not spontaneous or allowing enough. I should just relax. Relax. That's the only thing. My only job, everybody's only job is to relax. Relax. And allow. Relax. And allow. Wow. I stopped shaking after I said that. Magic, right? Woo-hoo. So, why did I choose this world? Why did I choose this life? Is it, no, I will know, if I'm trying to guess something and I don't just can't get it. It's a sign that I should let go. Trying to find somebody, I just couldn't find them. Just let go. Okay, now I can't find the answers to my 2 major questions. Let go. Let go. I can't find a direction in my life. I can't find what to do. I can't find my position. Let go. I can't get rid of this fear in my life. It's there. I can't get rid of him. The anxiety driving me, trying to drive me to make decisions based on fear. I can't. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Relax. Let go. I can't get rid of my shame. I can't do this and that. I can't stop fearing. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let a fear be. Not just let it be there, but let it be here in me. Let them be. Let them be. Let them thrive, grow, do whatever they want. Let everything. You know, these videos that I make, I always say this in every one of the videos. I don't know when they will ever be watched. Maybe they will never be watched when I'm alive. Maybe when the first person that watches this video already dead. I'll be watching you watching this video. That'd be fun. If I could make a choice, you know, what I always say is, when I'm out of this place, this planet, I will have nothing to do with it. I won't be here watching this video. I mean, I'm just joking. I know nothing. I don't know anything, you know. It's just, it's a motto for me still. About how this world functions and this and that. It's pretty much a motto for me, you know. I just completely